My dear friends, my brothers and sisters, I am a man of prayer. I am a student of peace. I am praying to the Heavenly Father to bring to the fore all your divine qualities and to increase them in boundless measure. I am praying to God to bestow upon each of you His dream message, which is peace. And I am also praying to Him to give you joy in infinite measure. I feel it is through prayer, meditation, and dedicated service that world peace can take place. Each individual has to try to make others happy, for it is only through happiness that you can live in peace. If you offer happiness to someone lovingly and sincerely, then that person will have only goodwill towards us. So from happiness you get peace, and from peace we get happiness. The two are inseparable. Unfortunately, this world of ours has not yet seen the face or felt the heart of peace. Why? Precisely because we are trying to bring about peace only through our mind's brilliance and splendor. As long as we try to establish peace on the strength of our mind's capacities, we shall sadly fail. We shall succeed only when we exercise our heart's capacities. The experiences of the heart strengthen us, expand our horizons, and make us feel that we are all one family with only one home. Each individual is a pilgrim with our wings of joy and our ever new dreams. Let us fly in the sky of love and promise. With our love we shall see and feel the world as our very own. With our promise we shall increase the beauty and divinity of all human beings and all nations. With utmost humility, sincerity and soulfulness, I pray to our Heavenly Father to bless us with a new millennium of dreams that will elevate the consciousness of humanity and make each and every human being supremely perfect. Living in joy, true inner joy is self-created. It does not depend on outer circumstances. A river is flowing in and through you, carrying the message of joy. This divine joy is the sole purpose of life. To live in joy is to live the inner life. This is the life that leads us to self-realization. Self-realization is God realization, for God is nothing other than the divinity that is deep inside each one of us, waiting to be discovered and revealed. We may also refer to God as the inner pilot or the supreme, but no matter which term we use, we mean the highest within us, that which is the ultimate goal of our spiritual quest. Only if we feed the inner life can the outer life have real meaning. 3 times a day we feed the body without fail, but again there is deep inside us a divine child called our soul. We do not find time to feed the child. We do not find time to feed this child. The soul is the conscious representative of God in us. Unless and until the soul's child is fulfilled, we can never be fulfilled in our outer life. How do you make the connecting link between the inner life and the outer life? If you know the divine art of meditation, easily and consciously we can unite these two worlds. When you practice meditation, each moment becomes a golden opportunity to cast aside depression, frustration, anger, fear, and other negative qualities, and to bring forward the divine qualities of the inner world: love, peace, joy, and bliss. Spirituality does not negate the outer life. Spirituality does not negate the outer life. The outer life should be the manifestation of the divine life within us. I do not see eye to eye with those who say that God is only in heaven and not elsewhere. God is in heaven and God is also on earth. The Creator can never be separated from His creation. This world of ours is His creation. He is here. He abides within all things. Do not think that by praying to God or meditating on God, you are caring only for yourself and not for the rest of humanity. If you go to the foot of the creation tree, you will see that God is the root. If you water the root of the tree, then the creation tree will grow the way the divine law wants it to. The concern you show for the root of the tree, for God, will feed all the branches which will then live according to God's perfection. Meditation, the key to the inner life. Meditation on the heart. It is better to meditate on the heart than to meditate in the mind. The mind is like Times Square on the New Year's Eve. The heart is like a remote cave in the Himalayas. If you meditate in the mind, you will be able to meditate for perhaps 5 minutes. And out of that 5 minutes, for 1 minute, you may meditate powerfully. First, you may get joy and satisfaction, but then you may feel a barren desert, or your mind will be crowded with thoughts once more. But if you meditate on the heart, you acquire the capacity to identify yourself with the joy and satisfaction that you get, and then it becomes permanently yours. There is a vast difference between what you can get from the mind and what you can get from the heart. The mind by nature is limited. The heart is unlimited. Deep within you are infinite peace, light, and bliss. To get a limited quantity is an easy task. Meditation in the mind can give it to you, but you can get infinitely more if you meditate on the heart. When you meditate, feel that you are a child standing in a flower garden. This flower garden is your heart. A child can play in a garden for hours. He will go from this flower to that flower, but he will not leave the garden because he will get joy from the beauty and fragrance of each flower. Feel that inside you is a garden and you can meditate on the heart. Your mind is a flood of questions. There is but one teacher who can answer them. Who is that teacher? Your silence loving heart. The faith of a child. You are God's child, not God's slave. If you can approach God as your father, then you can say, my father is rich, my father is great, my father is kind. He is bound to give me a portion of his kindness, his greatness, and his wealth. This is the spontaneous feeling a child will have. If you feel that God is the Lord and you are his slave, then how are you going to have faith in yourself? A slave will immediately say, today he is my master, tomorrow he may kick me out. A slave cannot claim his master's wealth or capacity as his very own, but a child can. If you want to have faith in yourself, first you have to feel what kind of connection or relationship you have established with your inner pilot. If it is the relationship of father and child, or mother and child, or lover and beloved, if it is the relationship of two most intimate, absolutely closest friends, then you can expect everything from God. But if you cannot establish that kind of sweet oneness between yourself and God, then how will you maintain any faith if you think He is very aloof, He is the Lord Supreme, and I am just a meaningless creature? Then there can be no feeling of oneness. If you think of yourself as a tiny ant and God is a huge elephant, naturally you will say, oh, how can I have any strength or capacity? I am so weak and insignificant. If you think of God as someone who is more than eager to give you what He has, then you will feel the strength that God has is all for me. When the time comes, He will offer it to me. When you have established that kind of feeling, when you feel that your Father is going to give you everything that you need, then automatically you will have abiding faith. God the love. There is no such being as God. There is no such being as God the tyrant. There is only one God, and that God is God the love. This God does not punish us. This God is constantly shaping us in His own way. It is He who is the doer. It is He who is the action. And it is He who is the enjoyer, both in the action and in the result. We feel that we are the doers and that if we do something wrong, God will punish us mercilessly. This is not so. It is God's dream that each individual has to manifest here on earth. It is in each human being that God's reality lives. If I can always have a childlike confidence, then my Lord Supreme will without fail become my sleeplessly self-sacrificing friend. Because I am a truth seeker, the future flows towards me. Because I am a God lover, I live in the eternal now. The power of love. Love is a pure and radiant flame. When we follow the path of love, we find our spiritual life, our inner life, most fulfilling. Nothing can be greater than love. Love is life, and life itself is spontaneous nectar and delight. If love means possessing someone or something, then that is not real love. That is not pure love. If love means giving and becoming one with everything, with humanity and divinity, then that is real love. Real love is our total oneness with the object loved and with the possessor of love. Who is the possessor of love? God. Whom are you loving? We are loving the Supreme in each individual. We love. When we love the body, we bind ourselves. When we love the soul, we free ourselves. It is the soul in the individual, the Supreme in each human being that we have to love. You can consciously give pure love to others if you feel that you are giving a portion of your life breath when you talk to them or think of them. This life breath you are offering just because you feel that you and the rest of the world are totally and inseparably one. Where there is oneness, it is all pure love. When the power of love replaces the love of power, man will have a new name, God. Spiritual seekers who are quite advanced, not to speak of the spiritual masters, quite often meditate outside the body. They become inseparably one with either the transcendental consciousness or the universal consciousness. And then they observe the body as something very tiny, or you can use the term finite. If you have to go into the finite to transform the finite or help the finite grow into the infinite. If you all the time meditate inside the body and do not go outside the body to meditate, I feel it is not the whole game. If you have to play the whole game, you have to be at times inside, at times outside. If you do not go beyond the mind or beyond the physical frame to meditate on the physical body, then I'm afraid our realization will be unfortunately partial. When we are on the verge of realization, it is like we become the dawn and we face the morning sun. We prepare ourselves on the strength of our prayers, meditations, and dedication and self-giving. So when you are on the verge of realization, we see the dawn is breaking and the light is spreading allwhere and the sun is rising, the morning sun. It is step by step, and or you can say everything goes together. When you face the sun, we do not say this is the sun. When the light comes, when the darkness of the night disappears, we feel that we see the light around us. Exactly the same way, when the inner sun bursts forth or the inner sun is rising, we can easily see, not only feel, we can easily see the inner sun rising. Each individual has an inner sun, and greatly advanced souls have more than one. They have 15, 16, 20 like that. But each individual is bound to have an inner sun as the way we see the outer sun, the planet. When the inner sun is blossoming, say like a lotus, petal by petal, we can see it, and we see that our illumination is fast dawning. Yes, please.
Throughout your books, you talk about focusing on the heart center for meditation. And what I'm asking is, in my meditation, I feel the vibration here, in the third eye, about 3 inches back, and on the fontanelle. Can you comment on the different areas? I know you say the mind you should not focus on, but I'm talking about the
all right, we call it Sahasrara, crown center, the crown center. Now, if you can concentrate on the crown center and go and beyond it, that is to see if you can raise your consciousness, right? Here is the crown center, and here is a third eye, and then here is one center, here is one center. But here, when you concentrate, we have to be very, very strict with ourselves. Let's say with regard to our purity. Here is the purest, here more safety. Here we can concentrate, here also we can open up our third eye by opening here, you can see the past, present, future and everything. And here, if you can open up this one, we can easily enter into the universal consciousness. But what happens from here, quite often, here this whole area is the mind area. From here, uncomely thoughts can enter into this this chakra center, then we are totally confused. Sometimes confusion leads us to insanity. But what you can do from here, if you get protection, if you feel that here you are safe, if you can establish our consciousness here, then we can go. Here is the route. From here, if you go up and beyond, if you go beyond this Sahasras, no harm, then you can go. But we need a place which you call, say, foundation, safety. So heart, if we can abide in the heart most of the time, then if we can raise our consciousness, if you come here, then come here, then go and beyond, then there is no problem at all. But if we concentrate only on the crown center, we may at times feel agitated. If you look at the wall, immediately we shall see only imperfection. I am perfect, the rest of the wall is imperfect. Absolutely. So at every moment, I am finding faults with the world. Now, by finding faults with the world, we are only only delaying our progress. But here is a feeling of oneness. If I am imperfect, they are imperfect. If they are imperfect, I am imperfect. So here is a feeling of oneness. Mother sees so many children are doing quite a few things, let us say, wrong. But mother does not take them as imperfect. Mother takes them as her own creation. She becomes inseparably one with the activities of her children. So here, if we keep our place, our consciousness here, we take the rest of the world as our own, very own, then it is very easy. If I can claim you and the rest of the world as my own, then the passage is clear. But if we remain all the time here, most of the time, then we look at this person, he is imperfect. She is imperfect. Everybody is imperfect. Every moment we feel we are superior to the rest of the world. When we develop the feeling of superiority, that is our downfall. But if we establish the oneness and oneness on the strength of our prayer and meditation, then we feel the road is sunlit. So this is the disadvantage. But we shall definitely have to go beyond the mind. If you don't go beyond this crown center, which we call Sahasrara, we can never enter into the universal consciousness or transcendental consciousness. But first we have to establish our safety. Yes. We can listen to the inner music and grow into the inner music by virtue of our prayer and meditation. When you pray, if you feel there is no difference between our prayers and our soulful music, they are inseparably one. Then while you are praying, you can listen to your own inner music. You are not playing anything. Again, when you are in your inner world, say you are playing the inner music or listening to the inner music, you will feel that your meditation is deep, extremely deep. They go together. When music, let us say, is a universal language. You don't have to know any particular language to appreciate the melody or the beauty of the music. It is universal. Like God, it is universal. Again, prayer is the way to show us, prayer is the way to lead us to that inner music, vice versa. If you can listen to the inner music or grow into the inner music, then you are doing the best possible prayer and best possible meditation.
When you speak of praying for joy and everyone to fulfill themselves and for world peace, is this prayer to some higher power outside of us, above us, or somewhere else, or is it the same? Are we kind of praying to something inside of ourselves?
It depends on our own feeling. We are on earth. Our very mind, we feel that when you die, we go to God. There is that we have to approach. It is not true. God is here in our actions at every moment. Otherwise, the moment we leave the body, we have the feeling, relatives will, oh, he has gone to God. He has gone to God, or he has gone, God knows where he has gone. So our mind immediately tells that God is above, in heaven. we are on earth. We don't use the term hell, but we are on earth here. So to convince our mind that something is going up, somebody is listening to us, he is either 1 foot above or infinitely higher than our own height. So it is to convince the mind that, God is above. And I say that when you pray to God, it is a conversation is going on. When you pray to God like this, immediately feel that God is here, little above, or God knows how high He is, but He is listening to our prayers. God give us this. And then again, when we meditate, at that time we feel His existence is not there. It is here. So two way. When now I am talking to you, a few seconds ago you talked to me. So when we pray, we feel that He is above, He is listening what I am saying, Then when I meditate, I feel that He is talking to me. Do this, don't do this. He is telling me what to do. So if you can take God, you can have the feeling that He is right inside. You can have endless talk. But our mind tells us that God is there somewhere else above. So that's why to convince the mind, we feel that God, we should pray there and God is listening to us. But again, if you can go beyond the mind, if you live here, then inside the heart, our conversation is going on constantly, sleeplessly.
The United States is the most wealthy, the most powerful country on earth. What do you feel is the role of the United States in the evolution of consciousness?
Well, only I can speak to you from the spiritual point of view. Now, material wealth cannot give us satisfaction, not to speak of abiding satisfaction. If we need peace of mind, no matter how wealthy we are, our wealth, outer wealth, will not give us even an iota of peace. There is no satisfaction at all. But only thing is that if we pray and meditate, then we can be spiritually multimillionaire. That is to say, we will have peace in abundant measure, love, joy, and all the divine qualities and the virtues we can have in abundant measure.
Discourse.